Hello and welcome to Love Anything Art. So glad to see you today. I thought we'd have a little bit of fun with some scrap clay from my previous project. It was a cane that I did, and I will leave a link in the description box below for you. Now you can really do whatever you want with this. You can scrunch it up, you can roll it out, you can do whatever, chop it. If you have a particular pattern in mind, you can do that too. I'm just going to give mine a very basic chop, just trying to get everything broken up into a little bit smaller pieces. While I'm doing that, I want to welcome everybody to my channel. I'm so glad you are here. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope you enjoy this idea. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are new, and you can check out my channel and my videos. I have over 200 videos for you. Just be sure to break up any large chunks that might be stuck together. What we're going to want to do is get everything relatively flat. So get all the big pieces unstuck and then start putting it into a circle or square shape, whatever you want to do, just into a pretty thin layer. Then you can use your hands to kind of flatten it, and be sure to flip it over so that one side doesn't become all smushed and the other side not. And just keep working that. You can give it some rolls also, just to get everything nice and joined. You don't want to over flatten it. You do want to get out any dips or cracks, wrinkles, any imperfections in the clay. You can also accomplish this by burnishing if you don't want to get your clay any thinner. This is about as thick as mine is. You can decide which side you like better, and then just work with that side. And you can always change your mind as you go. I've cut out some heart shapes, just a large one, a medium one, and then I have a little small heart cutter, so I'm going to use that. If you have different sizes of heart cutters, just feel free to use those. I use paper quite a bit. You'll need one of the large, two of the medium, and two of the small. Just make sure that you have enough clay to make out enough of your cutouts. So I'm just going to place them on there, kind of close together, and I have plenty of room to make one of each or two of each. I do need to give mine a quick burnish because it does have some imperfections in there. And then you just cut out your heart patterns. And the only bad thing about this with using the paper instead of a cutout is you will have to kind of use your fingers to smooth out the edges. Of course, if a rough edge doesn't bother you, then it's all good, but you will have to take a few minutes to kind of do that. And just be sure to also do the other side on the back with the edge, because both sides kind of will be visible. So I have all of mine ready to go. I have my one large one, two medium, and two small. With each one of those, you are going to want to take a stick pin or a toothpick, whatever you have, and poke a hole directly or as close to as direct in the center as possible. I'm going to start with my smallest one, and then with all of the other ones, I'm going to stack them together, just being sure that I have the side that I want to facing up, and then just kind of align them on there as best you can to get them as close to the center as possible. And then take the one that you poked a hole in and place it on top. and center it. And I have mine all stacked together. And this would be quite cool with the just leaving it like this, and you could bake it and glue all the pieces together. But I am going to do a little something different with mine. Just poke the hole all the way through the center. And that way, when you get done baking it, you have your holes already pre-poked and everything lines up and you didn't put a hole in the wrong spot. And then for baking, you'll just want to separate the pieces again. I'm going to give mine a quick burnish because I did get some fingerprints on there. And just in case you made any pokies anywhere by accident. And also to kind of smooth out that hole in the center and make it fairly smooth. And then I do want to go back over mine just to make sure that that hole is quite pronounced there in the middle. And then go ahead and pop those in the oven and bake them. Mine have baked, cooled, and I did apply a resin coating to the front, the back, and the side. And I've done that to all of my little heart cutouts. I did fill up the center with resin, so I'm going to have to drill out a hole. If you didn't want to do this, you could have put like a toothpick in the middle as you were resining, and then taken it out and cured it so that you didn't get any in the center. I have all of mine drilled. I'm going to stack them in the order in which I want them to be, and also having it to where the side with the pattern that I like the best is showing up. And since each layer is kind of the same clay, but the pattern is slightly different, it might look different based on how you place your hearts together and which side you have facing up. I am going to place a bead in between each of my layers. It's just a little pink bead. You could use a black bead or green, whatever color you thought looked best. And I have these two little metal findings. I'm going to put one on the front and one on the back with the smallest heart. And then I'll put a bead in the center of it. I'm going to use a metal stick pin. Make sure one of the sides do have the little metal stopper. You'll begin by putting on a bead and then putting on your metal flower. Be sure that the flower faces down so that it cups the bead. And then just start stacking from small to medium to large to medium back to small, being sure that your pattern faces out correctly. And this is going to be the back side of my necklace. Just alternating between the heart and the bead. Alright, I have mine all together. You can decide if you want it to spin freely or how you kind of want your pattern to look. You can glue them in place, or if you just like the way they look when they're all spinny, then you can do that. But I am going to glue mine in place. For that, I'll just be using some super glue. I think that some E6000 glue would probably work a little bit better. I'm not sure how well the super glue will hold up, but I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me. If it breaks apart, I'll just glue it back together. So I'll put a little glue and then a bead, let that dry, then put some more glue, put the metal finding with a little flower, and then start butting up my pieces of heart clay against it. And then of course keep going with the bead and the heart and the bead and the heart. And I have mine all glued together. I have quite a bit of metal stick pin left, which is what I wanted. Now you can cut it off so it's flush against your bead and then continue to make your necklace, or of course glue it in place so that it stays in there. Or you can do like I'm gonna do, and I plan on making a hook, and I'm gonna attach a little dangly bead on there. This is kind of the hard part, judging how much of that metal stick pin you need to leave on there. I kind of just eyeball it and then imagine if it curls back how much of that metal finding or stick that it would use. So I'm going to cut a little bit off, and then I always keep a little extra for measure. And then you'll just need to take a tool and then kind of bend it back and make your eye hook loop. Again, I'm going to use a metal stick pin with a little metal stopper on the end. And I'm going to place on a little green bead. I just chose that color because it looked good with the red clay. And again, I'm just going to measure off so that I can make a eye hook on the end. You'll need a metal jump ring so that you can attach your little bead to your heart. And for hanging, I'm going to drill a hole on both sides of the largest heart. I'm going to use some of this wire. I've cut off 2 even length pieces, measured out to the length of my neck. Then I'm going to use these little heart toggle and clasp. It's really cute, goes perfect with my heart themed necklace. And this is just the pack that it came out of. It had quite a few, and this has lasted me like a year, so it's quite a deal. You'll want to put your bead cap cover on there and then your crimp bead. And you'll need to do this to all 4 sides. And then a metal jump ring to attach to your necklace, and also for attaching your toggle and your clasp. And it's all put together and ready to go. Super cute. I really like it. Quite simple. You can use some scrap clay, and you could really do quite a bit with this. You could use different colors. If you have a color theme that you like, or maybe alternate between a solid color and a piece of scrap, going from small to large with the heart shape. I think you can kind of do a lot with it. And of course, the little heart toggle and clasp goes perfect with it. I love little dangly things, so thank you so much for watching. Bye!